All right, this is Darren's pond journal entry. This is about 3 weeks after my last entry, which I, mentioned that I was cleaning out the pond. I was making sure that the filter was running. And the only reason for the delay is because I wanted a comparable day to the day that I recorded the first time so that you can see the water quality. So, I've had the UV pump running, and I have cleaned out the filter pump quite a bit. There'll be another video on that because that's kind of the icky part of this that most people don't want to see. But when you have to clean the filter out, it's imagine a sponge that has water running through it with grease for a couple of days, and you'll get the impression. But I'll do another video on that. I'll just need my wife to kind of help me with that one. But anyway, so as you can see, water is crystal clear. There's a slight green tint to it. I'm not sure how much of this you're seeing very well, but as you can see, the fish are all alive and well. I had one that for a couple of weeks we weren't sure. In fact, I almost took him out the pond because I thought he was dead. He was kind of lying on his side at the bottom of the pond for about good 2 weeks. I actually went to scoop him out because I thought he was dead, and he moved. So I left him in there, and he's moving around fine now. They have just undergone their first feeding this week. The last time I fed them was in October. So let me just show you, what happens when I feed them. And I'm not feeding them the little fish flakes that you would get for little fish. These are pellets. At some point, probably the next day or two, I'll take a picture of that just to show you what they look like. Generally, I get a huge bag or two of them, which I picked up at a Walmart. Generally, a $20 bag for me will run them about 3 weeks. And it's when I say it's a huge bag. So right now, the last time they were fed was in October. I just started feeding them a week ago. Again, some of my friends ask, whoa, how can they go that long without eating? Like I said, their systems go dormant in the wintertime when it's cold, meaning the temperature drops below 50 degrees. Temperature has now climbed above 50 degrees for a consistent week. So about the beginning of last week, I just started to feed them. I generally will only feed them once a day for the first week or two, just to make sure they're adjusting properly. And then after that, when it gets into the midsummer, 70, 80 degree mark, generally it'll be 2 feedings a day at the very least, sometimes 3. I believe now you can probably see all of the little fish that we have in there that are besides the goldfish. And by the way, for those of you who have not been following me, these are goldfish. The same goldfish that you will buy in the store that come in a little baggie. They grow to whatever you put them in. So if you can see the big white one at the bottom of the screen, just to give you an estimate of how big he is, he's probably the length of my forearm. So, and that was when I picked him up at first, he was no bigger than my finger. So they grow to wherever you put them in for the most part. Just to give you an idea of the water quality, I'm just kind of doing a close-up on the water. I'm not sure if the reflection is causing you an issue to see it, but you can see clear down to the bottom of the pond. There are a few leaves accumulated at the bottom from, last fall. I will clean those up. I do have a net, and I generally go through and do a thorough cleaning. Probably once every 3 or 4 years, I will actually drain the pond and clean the pond totally out. And what that involves is draining it to about ankle deep. And yes, I do have the big fisherman boots that you would wear. Scooping the fish out, putting them in a little blow up pool for about 2 hours while I just, basically take a high pressure hose and, clean out the bottom of the pond, get any gunk out. And then I put them back in the pond and refresh the water. It's a one-day event. So that's like generally on a Saturday I'll do something like that. So like I said, it's about once every 3 years I'll do that. It's been 2 years now since I've cleaned it like that. It's fairly clean now. Like I said, just a little bit of leaves at the bottom, but not too much. So just wanted you guys to see, what's been going on. Did say I'd give you an update. Like I said, I was just waiting for a day where we were having comparable weather to the last time I did a recording, so you can get a clear idea of what's going on with the pond. All right. Hope all of you enjoy. I'm trying to do these on a regular basis now because I've had a lot of friends that have commented saying, hey, I enjoy it. The fish are all alive and well. Even the little feeder fish. And I don't know, I'm sure you can see the gold ones moving around. What you don't see is that there are actually black ones in there. And in fact, they outnumber the gold ones probably 2 to 1. When I first bought them, they are not feeder fish for the goldfish. Basically what they do is they control the mosquito content. A lot of people ask me about when, you have a pond, how's your mosquitoes in your backyard? And I tell them non-existent. And the reason is because those little fish combined with the goldfish eat mosquito larvae. And if you don't know anything about mosquitoes, they like to lay their larvae in the water. So when the pond is running, first of all, when I've turned off the waterfall right now, but when the pond is running, mosquitoes like calm water. So, which it is right now, but when the waterfall is running, that's not calm, so they don't want to lay their eggs in the water. But should you get the persistent one that chooses to do that, these guys will eat all the eggs up. So, in my backyard, there are literally no mosquitoes in the middle of the summertime. It's actually fine. So, let me just turn on the pump for a minute. Now you get a little side of my backyard. We've been doing some cleanup for the pending summer. I got to put the canopy back on of this guy here. This is a whole process. I got to pull all the weeds out over here. We laid the pea gravel, and stuff grows in. Even in the wintertime, it grows in. So over here we got the she shed, as my wife liked to call it. She thought that was going to be her little room. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. We've got 5 bedrooms. This is for all the tools and stuff that we've accumulated. We've got a snow blower. We've got all kind of stuff that was accumulating in the house is now in there. The deck. Yes, my bar area. For those of you who come to any of my events, understand that there is a bar and there is a bartender who will be serving. So let me turn on I do have power here, by the way, so you see that it's not a switch or anything. I just have it kind of linked up. No, and by the way, here's our outdoor cat, Lyndon. Lyndon has been with us for 3 years. We have an indoor cat, Onyx. Lyndon's our outdoor cat. Our neighbors across the street, won't say who they are, threw him out when he was about 6 weeks old after getting him. And we kind of adopted him. So, right, Lyndon? As you see, very friendly, very nice. So he has no problem with people. He likes us. We like him. So here's the waterfall running full steam again. And like I said, agitated water prevents mosquitoes from laying their eggs. If you do have mosquitoes that try to do that, that's what the little fish are for. They will eat all mosquito larvae in the water. So that's about it for this time. My next entry will be cleaning out the filter pads. Now, the filter pads, just so you understand, go into the skimmer. This is the skimmer. It looks like a stone, but actually it's a box. that contains all of the sponges, for lack of a better word, that are used to filter the water. So all the water basically comes from the waterfall, flows over to the skimmer below my feet, in through the skimmer, and there's a pump in the skimmer that basically pulls the water through and cycles it underneath the pond and back to the waterfall again. So in between that, there is a set of filter pads that you buy, like 20 or 30 bucks for a bunch of them. They're roughly 50 feet of it. And they're like big sponges, and what they do is they clean out and basically get all the particulate matter, which is the algae and so forth. They soak that up as this entire process is running. It takes about 2 weeks, you know. Like I said, the water was very murky when I first did this video 2 or 3 weeks ago. But as you see, between that and the UV lamp that I have running, the UV pump, which is over here. And by the way, just so you understand, so there's a UV light in here. I don't know if you can see it. But in here, the way I can tell it's working is right here, the light will be green. When that light goes out, that means that lamp is burnt out and it's time to get a new one. So, you know, generally the lamps run roughly 15 bucks a piece. I just have to, you know, so normally I keep about 2 or 3 of them on supply so that if one burns out, I can just slap another one in there. Takes about a year, maybe a year and a half before they burn out. So I've been through about 2 of them so far since I bought this pump. All right, guys, thank you again, and I'll see you for the next video. Bye.